and help committee. Is Jessica's here?
Please come on.
Hi, Jessica, how are you?
Hi. Good.
I see you didn't show up last time, wasn't it?
I did email and I never got
Oh,
notified.
you never got the notice?
Yeah, so I didn't know, so I was
Okay.
emailing back and forth.
So what I really noticed, I mean, it's been a long pattern, in your life, I mean, you have a lot of events in your life, So what's your outcome now? I mean, you're here to get a license, right?
Yeah, so, currently, I'm working at 4 different places in West Dallas. I work at Dickens, that was the first
Yeah.
place that hired me. I am also at Lemansky's and Kane's, and I'm at Captain Nick's for on-call or
Yeah.
whenever filling. Yeah, I don't look good on paper at all. I am on parole.
But why in your life, I mean, you never really comply with laws, It seems like you have a long stretch
I did.
of offenses, really. I mean,
Yeah.
somewhat, they were not related, to your license, but the fact stands that you have a really a pattern that kind of disturbing, For
Right.
somebody to work behind a bar, I mean, I know many, many of them not related in any way to the license, but the fact that is, I mean, we want to make sure we put behind a bar somebody that has some law abiding, what I say, not 100%, but you seem like you have a pattern that it's almost 100%, So any questions from the committee members?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I have a question, actually, we'll start out with Kale. If we don't grant a license, she can still bartend under management of the owner of the establishment, correct?
Yes, you can, under the licensee or one of their operators.
Okay. All right, Ms. Nankin, I went over your application, and I also agree with Alderman Vitale. I'm looking back from offenses dating back from 2000 to current. When I'm making a decision on your license, I'm looking at, have you shown reasonable rehabilitation to the offenses? As current as 2022, you have a theft charge as well. We're looking at offenses, theft, 3 OWIs, felony. At this juncture, I'm going to make a motion to deny based on habitual criminality, which substantially relates to the licensing activity.
Second.
All in favor of the motion of denial?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
So what do I do now?
So this time the motion was to deny, so your application has been denied. You can continue to work on your current status, or you will have to have someone in the bar though who is licensed to do it.
So what happens like with the money that I've already put up for it?
For the application fee,
Like, yeah,
that's just the application fee for going through the process.
let's set the license fee?
You can request a refund, I'm not sure how much we would send you though. You can send it, you can request the refund.
Sure.
All right, the next one, we have 2022-2024 new operator license bartender place the operator application for Carville Coleman 3, bartender 377. Is Mr. Coleman here?
First appearance? Motion to deny based on non-appearance.
Is this the first appearance?
I'm actually making a motion to deny
Oh, you are, okay,
altogether.
okay. Second,
I already seconded,
Okay.
sir.
All in favor of the motion of denial?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
So as this is a new item, the motion you're making right now would have to be redone later on. So you
Okay.
can either do them all later, or you could just sort of take an informal vote right now.
Okay,
But just remind that we'll have to do this again during the recess meeting.
Okay.
So this time what, you requested to hold it for?
No,
No?
No,
I mean, you could just indicate how you would vote at the council meeting right now.
right.
right,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we're going to have to
It would have to be.
Well, it's
break at
denied, it's
recess.
denied it this time, so based on
Okay,
the
so-
motion. So we have a second on the motion of denial? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The aye have it. So we move on to item 3, 2022-2024 operator license bartender class D operator application for Dawn Bonek, bartender 383. Dawn, are you here?
I would also deny.
Second.
Based on the record, just as well.
Correct, based on the record.
Okay, all in favor of the motion of denial?
Aye.
Opposed, the aye have it. So we move on to item 4, 2022-2024 new operator license bartender class D operator application for Abimael Torres Garcia. Is here? No, look like he's not here.
I will make a motion to hold.
Second.
All in favor of the motion to hold the applicant?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the aye have it. So we move on to item 5, new Class B tavern license application for K Car Z LLC, DBA Brass Boars, Dan 7127, West Nashville, agent Frank Zaborowski, LLC, 22205.
Hello
Yes.
again, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hey, how you
Okay,
doing?
oh, you guys were here, yeah.
Aye.
So, things seem like look good for you guys now, or not?
Yeah, they're getting better. I mean, it's
They're getting
been
better,
it was
eh?
a scary couple of years there, but
Okay,
yeah,
that's
it's getting
good.
back to normal a little bit now, so, yeah.
Any question from the members?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
basically, this location is under the name of Red, White, and Blue.
Yeah,
Blues.
that's, Eric,
Is that
Eric, was
correct?
who bought it from,
Bruce.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Bruce.
Yep.
Oh, you're right. Have you given up, have they given up their license as yet?
I don't think he has. I haven't reached out to him about that. We just flew back from our place in Seattle. I know he was gonna do it. We were advised to tell him to come relinquish his license after we had this meeting.
I see.
I don't know if that's accurate or not, but that's what we were told to do, to pass that information on to him to,
So in this case, do you get the license from him?
I'm not sure how that works. I've had conflicting information about that. I don't know if we just get his license once he surrenders it, or if it's, if there's licenses available that we can just pick up.
Could you
I'm not
please
sure.
clarify that?
Sure, so it would be a new license, only
Okay.
issue your name, and he'd have to surrender his license.
Okay,
Practically speaking, we would accept an email from him saying he's surrendering his license.
okay,
He doesn't actually have to physically
There's no-
bring the license in.
okay.
Just a communication to the clerk's office saying, I think, is it just clerk at, so clerk@westhouse.wi.gov, it says, license, address, and all that.
Heard.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor of the motion for approval?
Would discussion?
Yeah, question, discussion.
Would this be subject to surrender, correct? We'd have to put that in there,
I
or
mean,
not?
It doesn't have to be, no,
Okay.
because effectively, there's gonna be interest in, Mr. Millard surrendering his license, but he'll be held responsible for everything that property without having any benefits, so
And I think he went to Cedarburg.
there's a natural.
No,
incentive.
Conomowoc.
Oconomowoc.
Conomowoc,
Okay.
yeah. Alderman Weigel.
Mr. Chair, as the Alderman of the Second District, I was reading the operating plan, and it mentioned patio. Okay, I'm assuming this means the space on the street in front as had been previously allowed for use?
Yeah, and then eventually we'd like to use that back area as well. We don't know what issues have been with that in the
Yeah,
past.
there's that proximity to the residential
Sure.
neighborhood there may be problematic. right?
Okay.
I just want to let you know that.
Absolutely.
Okay, but at this point, we're not talking about that.
Absolutely, yep.
And you're not adding any food, and no one has remodeled the.
Eventually we'd like to, or to add food, behind the bar, just like a turbo chef type thing. I actually have a meeting on Thursday with a test kitchen to do like a little convection oven type deal. But no full kitchen, that kind of thing at this point, but yeah, in the future possibly, but,
Thank you, but right now, there's no beverage service on the south side of
okay,
the alley side.
no, fair, that's fair.
You mentioned that you will close at 2:30 a.m. or?
2:30 on the weekends, just
On
per
weekends.
like the liquor laws. During the week,
Alright.
it's 2 o'clock, and then I
Okay.
think Friday and Saturday is 2:30.
So on your motion of approval,
Aye.
oppose, the aye have it.
don't think I
I was
the only
saying
aye.
aye.
Everybody's an aye.
Yeah,
I did, I just didn't come out.
Everybody say
Yeah,
aye. so
yeah,
like,
aye.
everybody. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
thanks.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Go to the last, that's item 6, new Class A beer license application for Bridger State Petroleum Incorporation, DBA, Oklahoma BP 10731 West Oklahoma Avenue, agent Jesmet Kank, LLC 22208. Did I say it right, Kank? Okay. So based on what I really see on your applications, seem you have a really clear door open, you know? You have no records at all, right? So any questions from the committee?
Mr.
members?
Chair?
Yes,
If I may refresh your memory, this applicant came before us last year.
yes.
You own Poor Richards, is that, okay. And it's actually in your district, Rosalie. So at that point, just to refresh everybody's memory, we did deny. I took a call, I really appreciate you calling. And I'd like to defer to the alderpersons in their district for their opinion and thought on issuing this Class B.
He has basically
Class
asked.
A, sorry.
Yes. I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. I've been to several meetings and I didn't want to disturb you last night.
That's okay, thank
However, you are just asking for the beer license.
you. Yes,
Yeah, just a beer.
And it will be in a beer cooler, you had
Yes.
indicated.
Yeah.
Beer cooler has how many doors?
we are actually extending, we are making a separate cooler as per plan, only 3 doors. So,
3 doors.
yeah, 3 doors, a separate cooler extension will be put in if we get approval.
I see. Compared to your soda, how many doors do you have for
We
soda?
have that, we have about 18 doors for soda, 18, 1-8.
Okay. But this is just for beer.
Yeah, just 3 would be just, like I said, specific to just for the beer use on one side of the building.
I have no problem granting this license under the circumstances for only beer. So I would move to approve.
And I would support that as well.
So on the motion of approval, all in favor?
Aye.
Oppose?
No,
What's your vote, Vince?
3 to 2.
So you're an aye?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So it's been approved, so tonight it's gonna go in front of the common council, okay?
So when you say, is it gonna be tonight?
Yeah, tonight, yeah, we vote on tonight on the floor, you know,
Okay, awesome.
okay?
Thank you. I'll see you there.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sure.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, then we move on to item 7. New Class B tavern license application for Fan Zone and Corporation DBA Fan Zone Sport Bar, 6741 West Lincoln Avenue, Asia, Beckham, LLC 22206. Hi, Elsa, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. So, this is first business that you're doing in West Dallas, or
First business in West Dallas.
first one, eh? So you had any other business in other
Yes.
areas?
Not in West Dallas, but I do in Milwaukee.
No, you still do?
I do commercial
Yeah.
real estate and residential rehabs and fixing.
So you tried to acquire the building, or just as well, or just,
Well, yes. So we have a contract for an offer to purchase that's in progress right now.
so you have a contract with contingency of purchase, or
Approval and purchase.
approval for the license, right? Okay, any questions from any committee members?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
a couple things. I would assume that the former Harry's is also going to relinquish the license on the property.
Correct.
Okay.
Pending the
Yeah.
sale and.
The name of your business is the Fan Zone. You want to give an overview of what you're looking to bring in?
Just TVs to watch sports.
Okay, so more of a sports bar. Are you planning on having food at all?
Just the regular tavern food package, prepackaged.
Okay. And you haven't had any previous experience in owning a bar?
not a bar, but working, yes.
Okay.
Not owning, sorry, working, yes.
What is your background in that?
My granddad, he owned a bar, and I worked in it until he passed away.
Okay. Vince, this is, or, yeah, Chairman Vitale, this is
Yeah, I'm
your
familiar
district,
with that
correct?
bar. Never really been any issues, I mean, as far as I know, you know, so, with the previous operator, so I won't see no problem to, any questions from any committee members?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
In this location, has there been a problem under the name Harry O's
As far as
that you're
I,
aware of?
no. There was a problem there, Gail?
No, Harry O's has been in business quite a long time.
Yeah,
I
a
know,
long
but I
time, yeah,
wanted to
never,
know, 'cause I don't know.
he was
I don't
pretty,
think there
pretty
was.
nice gentleman, you know, I mean, he take care of his business, you know, as far as I know,
All right. Thank you.
okay? Any further questions
I would support,
on the motion?
yeah.
I need a second. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Good luck to you.
Thank you. So does he, after everything goes through, he just?
Yeah, it's gonna be approved at the common council floor, okay?
Good luck.
Good luck, thank you.
Now, do I
Motion
make
to-
a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor of the motion to adjourn?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
You have to like.
I mean, I'll say this.
Why can't we
Look
do
at
this
that.
in recess?
Well,
It can be fast. It could be fast like that every time.
Just to be clear, y'all have to do it all again.
Good evening, everybody. We'll call the Common Council to order. I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Alderperson Lysick.
Here.
Ranky.
Here.
Rote.
Here.
Stefanski.
Here.
Tenorio.
Here.
Vitale.
Here.
Weigel.
Here.
Grisham. Here. Haas.
Here.
Keen. Here. 10 present.
We have a quorum. Please rise if you are able and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led this evening by Alderman Lysick. Thank you. Moving to item D, we have 4 public hearings this evening, and I'll ask the clerk to read out public hearing number 1.
Ordinance updating zoning code amending chapter 19.
Mr. Scher.
Thank you, Mayor. The zoning ordinance that was passed in May of early this year in May, city planning has noticed some issues, some errors with it, some house cleaning items, and then 3 a little bit more substantial items that we'd like to clean up. So with that, I'll give a summary of the public hearing. We'll start with the house cleaning items, and then we'll move into some of the more delicate items later on. So with the house cleaning changes, there are in the principal use table category, there's a category of principal use called 3 to 4 unit dwellings. And right now in the code, we have them listed in the commercial districts, in the RB and RC district as permitted uses, then it transitions to a conditional use in all of our commercial districts. What staff would like to do is, what we're recommending is to convert the commercial zoning to permitted uses rather than conditional uses. We feel that the 3 to 4 unit dwellings are a rather smaller scale, density type of dwelling, which fits quite well along many of our major corridors, such as Lincoln Avenue, National Avenue, what have you. So for that reason, we're recommending permitted uses in the C1 through C4 category district. And then also a hotel, you can see that they're conditional uses in C1, then they skip C2, they go to C3, C4, and on up as conditional uses. We don't have a good reason why we skipped the C2 district. We feel C2 is a good district to have a hotel in. Just seems odd that there's a gap there. So that we'd like to see that changed as well to a conditional use. So moving on to the 3rd bullet point, just some basic stuff, allowing fences in commercial, industrial front yards pending a site staff site and landscaping review, placing caps on bike parking minimums. Right now, a Target, for example, under our current code would have to provide, Target's about 100,000 square feet, they'd have to provide about 33 bike parking stalls. Now, while I'd love to have a bike parking problem like that in the city, we're not quite there yet, so I think we'd like to place a cap on our retail uses and some of the other uses within the zoning district to limit them to 10 for retail. For schools, there'd be a cap of 20, and so on. And then adding diagrams to our zoning code is also another important thing that we'd like to do just for the visual context. Not everybody likes to read. Some people like pictures, so we'd like to introduce some diagrams that would show more or less where structures can be placed on the lots, and then just showing how front yard, side yard, rear yard, buildable spaces would look given the specific zoning district. Moving on, additional diagrams to basically help codify residential parking clarification. So if you have a house with an attached garage, where you can park on the site. The red area is where you should not park. The area that is not red in front of the garage is the appropriate place to park. And then so it goes with the detached garage scenario. The red area in front of the house is not the appropriate place to park. However, the driveway alongside the home and up to the garage is the appropriate place to park. Oh, let me go back one. Now, if you happen to have a circular driveway, like some of the larger lots in our city further west, one of those fancy U-shaped circular drives, those would just become legal non-conforming uses. In other words, if you happen to find a spare acre of land in the city and you wanted to do something like that, it would require, Board of Appeals. You couldn't just do it by right in our zoning district. And then there's some basic wording changes, changing the word special use to conditional use. There were a few remnant special uses that we found in the code. Just want to get that cleaned up to fit the context of the rest of our code, which is now called conditional. And then also changing the word manufacturing to industrial. So instead of a manufacturing district, we'll call it an industrial district. And then now we get into the little more substantial changes. The adult daycare category, what we'd like to do here is that we had unintentionally changed the regulation of adult daycare in our May 6th update to our code. And what we want to do is just propose a use category of adult daycare in this update, thereby giving it its own category right above child daycare center. And what you can see here is that it's pretty much the same as a child daycare center until you get to the commercial zoning districts, where child care centers are conditional uses currently. We'd like to make adult daycare permitted use in our commercial and industrial zoning districts. It becomes conditional once again in a park zoning district. Advanced manufacturing. This is a new type of use that, in collaboration with our economic development office, we feel we have potentially a market advantage by creating a use with a definition, in this case for advanced manufacturing. Now, this is not high impact or very dirty types of industrial use. This is a very clean running, clean operating, something that you wouldn't really even know is there unless somebody told you. So, and we've created a definition you can see over here on the right, basically converting raw materials into finished products. And again, the key things being that it does not produce any vibration, odor, emission, noise outside the building. So these will be conditional uses. We're creating a space for them in our C3 and C4 zoning districts, commercial zoning districts. We see this as an opportunity perhaps for our Highway 100 corridor. Areas that have historically been retail in nature, we see a need for perhaps some change, allowing this type of high-tech use within that corridor, where it would be a conditional use. Basically, it's allowed as a conditional use. It would have to meet all the conditions of the zoning code, and in addition, Common Council could impose additional conditions as they see fit, given the context of the use. If the commercial zoning district is near a residential area, you wouldn't want to have a lot of trucking, for instance. You'd want to really curtail that. If it is not near a residential zoning district, for instance, and near maybe a light industrial area, you probably wouldn't care so much about the trucking aspect. So those are the types of things that the Common Council can control in a commercial setting as a conditional use. And then entire antenna and wireless communication facilities. These were allowed previously within our code, and what was changed here with this update is basically to amend the code to incorporate our state statutes and the laws that exist within the state rules into our zoning ordinance. Basically, you have the co-locations, the two different classes of co-location, one being conditional. These are more substantial types of changes. And then class 2 are the more typical changes to an existing facility, are permitted in all zoning districts. And then the mobile support service structure, these are where someone's putting up a substantial change like a tower, a monopole in a certain area of the city. Those are all conditional uses throughout. So the state does give us some control, but we're also somewhat limited to the state statutes. We can't enforce beyond what the state statutes will allow. So we're just reflecting those state statutes within our zoning code to be legal. And then secondhand jewelry and articles and jewelry. So what had happened is, unfortunately, when we had updated the code back in May, secondhand stores, the resale shops, such as All Goods or Renew Sporting Goods on Highway 100, were lumped into a category of secondhand jewelry sales. We want to separate that and get that away from, and create a distinction there. So what we've done is secondhand jewelry sales will stay the same as a conditional use within the C4 district, just like pawn shops and thrift stores. Those will all be conditional uses as they are now. But the resale shop, like we have here downtown West Dallas, will be a permitted use and fall under either a neighborhood retail category, as you see here, or a general retail, which are permitted in the various commercial zoning districts that we have. So all of this went before Planning Commission on August 24th. The Planning Commission had recommended council approval. We've also held a Safety and Development Committee meeting on September 20th. The item has been properly noticed a couple of times in the official paper, and then we're having our public hearing tonight. So thank you. Any questions? I'm happy to help.
Thanks for the presentation, Mr. Scher. Are there questions from the Common Council? Okay, seeing none, are there any questions or comments from the members of the audience? All right, seeing none, we will close public hearing number 1. And I will ask our clerk to read out public hearing number 2.
Ordinance to amend section 19.01, the official West Allis zoning map for certain properties along the West Beloit Road and West Lincoln Avenue corridor in alignment with the 2040 comprehensive plan.
Thank you. Mr. Scher?
Thank you, Mayor. Is there anyone here this evening with questions or concerns on this item in the audience? And if not, this is pretty simple. This is similar to the other batches of rezonings that we've had to eradicate or eliminate split zoning in the city. Tonight's batch is focusing on Beloit Road as well as Lincoln Avenue. You can see we've got about 65 properties along Beloit. It's Angled Street here, and then the other is Lincoln Avenue from the east city limits out to about Nathan Hale High School. And there's 2 examples I just want to show here. We can certainly go into more detail if you wish, but I mean, I've got two map examples. This is a great example on Beloit Road between 62nd and 67th and 62nd Street, south of Beloit Road, where you can see the zoning line on the existing zoning map literally cuts through several of these properties on an angle, half of the property being commercial, the other half being residential, and these are all single-family or low-density residential uses. The intent here is just to follow our comprehensive 2040 land use plan and convert these properties from that little bit of commercial, or in some cases a little bit more commercial, to a residential zoning, which is this RB district here. So this is the finished map, what it would look like after, if this ordinance were passed this evening. It would basically get away from this parallel line to the center line of Beloit Road, cutting through these properties, and then just more or less follow the contours of the property lines as in this proposed map on the right. And then another example, if you're familiar with Nathan Hale High School, it doesn't look this way in real life. I mean, these are just the zoning map with a different single-family zoning, low-density zoning, RA3, and then RC is a multifamily zoning. No idea why there's 3 zoning districts on one property, splitting the school, the athletic fields. We'd like to convert it all to RC, which is a multifamily zoning district, conducive to our comprehensive plan. So there's just 2 examples. I'm happy to go into more detail, but this is the finished look of the zoning map. Once it's all said and done, I mean, inclusive of Lincoln Avenue and Beloit, how it would look. And then this has also gone through a planning commission process, a public informational meeting on September 13th. We've had a couple people show up for that. There was one request to retain the zoning for a non-split zone property just north of Schaff Funeral Home, just north of the alley. It's currently zoned C2. We were proposing to go to RB with it. And the owners had requested to keep it C2. It is a mixed-use property. It does have potential for a small shop within that building, so we thought that was fairly straightforward, and so I guess it's not included within your list of rezonings this evening, so I just wanted to note that in tonight's public hearing. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Are there any questions from the council on public hearing number 2? Okay, hearing none, is there any member of the audience with comments or questions on public hearing number 2? All right, seeing none, we will close public hearing number 2. And I will ask the clerk to read public hearing number 3.
Resolution to approve the year 2023 operating plan for the Downtown West Allis Business Improvement District and to adopt the special assessment method as stated therein.
Thank you. We're going to be especially gentle this evening because Carson Cofield is doing his first public hearing presentation to us, I believe. Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Mayor and Council. So to get started, if any of you are unfamiliar of where the West Allis Downtown Business District is, its westernmost boundary is 76th Street, and then it goes all the way to 70th Street. And then on the easternmost side, it goes north to Madison Street, and then south to Orchard Street, but it's essentially just our downtown right here outside. So A couple of the accomplishments that the West Dallas bid had in this last year, or they attracted a various number of businesses to Greenfield Avenue. It's always been a high priority for them to have high quality, diverse mix of businesses, and they definitely did that this year. They've continued to maintain the appearance of the downtown and make it a pleasant place to drive, walk, bike, etc. They also help fund signage for quite a few businesses, as well as kept up with code enforcement, trying to make sure that all the downtown businesses are up to code. And they've also maintained their social media presence and just awareness through various advertising methods. And those are just a few of the many accomplishments they had this past year. So there's a couple goals for 2023. I have 3 of their kind of general goals up there for this upcoming year. There's going into 2023, there's also a couple other businesses that are already planning on opening up here either late 2022 or early in 2023, such as the Deco Event Center, which will be exciting to see. But mainly it's just continuing outreach, continuing improvements, and continuing to get high quality businesses in our downtown. So the bid budget process has a couple steps to it before arriving before council here. So it starts with an annual goal setting session. This is amongst their bid committees. There are 5 different committees that they have that get together and kind of set their agenda for the year. Once they do that, they bring that forward to their executive director, and then she approves it, and then they bring it together for the bid board, and they vote on it, and then it appears before council here tonight. So for their proposed budget for 2023, as you can see, comparables to last year, for example, the professional services went up $8,000, supporting services essentially stayed the same with a slight increase. The design committee went up $20,000, and if I'm not mistaken, a large portion of that is looking to maybe install more security cameras down on Greenfield Ave. And their assistance programs on the bottom there, it increased by $10,000. So here's their total budget year to year. It's cut off right at the bottom, but the total levy would be $107,538, and you can see where that funding is coming from. Their budget does have an increase of essentially $30,000 from last year. So the total assessed value of the bid, this is kind of just a year over year increase, decrease, and so we can see it increased essentially by $90,000 to $19.25 million here in 2022. So their proposed special assessment levy essentially is going to stay the same as last year, as you can see here. And then if there are any questions or comments, I will gladly take them.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the council on public hearing number 3?
Mayor Devine?
Alderman Weigel.
As a, not a question, a comment, as a resident of the downtown, a property owner and business owner, I fully support the operation of the bid. They've been doing a great job for the 30-plus years I've been here on Greenfield Avenue, and I think I can't speak for every business owner or property owner, but I'd say far and away everybody's in favor of the bid and the work that they've been doing. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the council? Okay, seeing none, are there any members of the audience with questions or comments on public hearing number 3? Okay, we will close public hearing number 3. I will ask clerk to read out public hearing number 4.
Report of CDBG COVID 1, 2, and 3 funds.
Before I turn things over to Mr. Schloss, I want to thank Kelly Schloss for allowing her husband to come on the night of their anniversary to a common council meeting. Happy anniversary, guys. Go ahead when you're ready. Can you hit your green button on your mic? Thanks.
New system.
Yes.
I apologize. We're fulfilling a federal and state requirement this evening relative to the allocations of funding that we receive for CDBG COVID funds. Now, we received 3 allocations, 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 3 came from the federal government, and round 2 came from the state of Wisconsin. The first allocation was allocated out in various groups, and the balances that we have remaining to date are $383,407 of total funds remaining. Most of the funds for economic development have been dispersed. We currently have an application for the remaining balance, and then we have some funds remaining for rent assistance and health awareness. Here's some of the achievements in the rounds of allocations of funds that we've received. In the CDBG 2 COVID funds, pretty much all the funds have been dispersed other than 3,847. And the areas that, or the businesses that received assistance under this category were the Holiday Inn, Greeby's, and Rapina's. And with that, the goal was to assist and retain jobs, and that totaled 34.5 FTEs to date relative to the use of those funds. And then CDBG COVID 3, the balance has been, other than $5, has been allocated out in various small business grants. And that was done in early 2022 and 2021. I'd gladly answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you for the presentation, Mr. Schloss. Are there any questions from the Common Council?
Mayor Devine?
Alderman Weigel.
Two things. Patrick, could you put that last slide back up? 50,000 minus 44,495 is not 5?
Well, about, it's an error.
Okay.
There's $5 left.
It's just $5 left?
Yeah.
Okay, so it should be like 49, 495.
Scribbler's error. I
Okay.
apologize.
But I also wanted to, the other thing is I wanted to mention, before Patrick came to work for the city full-time, he was our bid executive director in the downtown. So, thank you for all the work you did as a previous bid director. And how long ago was that?
1999.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Just like yesterday. But it did feel weird to have somebody else do the public hearing this evening after all these years, so.
Any other questions from the council on public hearing number 4? Hearing none, are there any questions or comments from the audience on public hearing number 4? All right, then we will close our public hearings this evening, and we will move on to item E on our agendas, which is citizen participation. The Common Council can receive info from members of the public during this 30-minute period. Each speaker must announce to their council their name and address. Please sign in at the podium and limit your comments to one statement of no more than 5 minutes. The council cannot take actions on any topics raised by the speakers, and we cannot discuss any topics with the speakers. Is there anybody who wishes to address the council under citizen participation this evening? Please approach the microphone and podium. Oh, hit the green button. There you go.
Oh, hello, everyone. I may have met most of you in passing at the last meeting, but I wanted to come back and properly introduce myself. My name is Kiva Turner. I'm running for the 14th District State Assembly. I do reside here in West Dallas, and my district does encompass West Dallas and Tosa. I grew up on the north side of Milwaukee, so I think that I've been provided with a very unique perspective to contribute to the community issues that we're having. So I look forward to being a voice in Madison for the people of our community, and I just wanted to stop by and say I think you guys are doing a great job here. I did sit in on your last meeting, and I think that you guys you're awesome, and you're doing things as far as what I think pretty fairly. So I'm glad to have you guys here and be working with you guys in the city, and I do look forward to working with you guys in the future. And that's it.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. I'll turn this off.
Is there anybody else that wishes to address the council under citizen participation this evening? Oh, can you turn on your mic? Sorry.
The little person.
There you go.
First time user error. Good evening. I'm State Representative Robin Vining. I currently represent the 14th Assembly District, the cities of Wauwatosa, Brookfield, and Milwaukee. It is an honor to be with you tonight. I just wanted to come by and hopefully get to chat in the time when you are on break, and that is all. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to address the council under citizen participation? Very good. We will close citizen participation, and we will move on to item F. An announcement of our standing committees will be held during recess, and the room numbers are listed on the top of page 2 of your agendas. And then we will go right to item G, which is the mayor's report. I have a couple of things this evening I would like to read out to you. Last week, we swore in 4 new members of the West Dallas Fire Department, and this morning, we swore in 4 new police officers for the West Dallas Police Department. So I just want to quickly mention that and welcome them, and I'm sure I can speak for the council as we wish them well on their careers with the city of West Dallas. The restaurant, the Bread Peddler's Bakery opened a couple of weeks ago, and I believe I mentioned it at the last meeting, but we did hold a official ribbon cutting for them last week, and city staff attended as well as Alderpersons Keene and Grisham, and they are quite an addition to the community. If you have not stopped yet, I would recommend it, and I would recommend getting there early because they've been selling out of bread just about every day. The third thing I want to bring up is a new event coming up this Halloween season. We are having a Haunted Honey Creek event, conjuring up creepy good fun. This will be on Friday, October 28th from 4 o'clock until 9 o'clock, and it's partnered with the West Dallas Historical Society. It will be held at Honey Creek Park on 84th and National. There are plans for a flashlight cemetery tour, campfire ghost stories, ghoulish face painting, live music, food trucks, craft beer, jack-o'-lantern display, and competition. And best of all, a cash prize will be awarded to the West Dallas Neighborhood Association with the most entries. All ages are welcome, but they tell me I should warn everyone to be aware there might be a scare. I want to thank the sponsors for this, Lockers Florist, Renew Sports and Fitness, and T-Mobile. The next thing I want to bring up is October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and sadly, domestic violence issues have hit our community too often over the years. I want to, thank the Women's Club of West Dallas for once again hanging the purple ribbons all around the City Hall Plaza and out in front of City Hall, and in the downtown as well, I believe, up and down Greenfield Avenue. And I also want to just ask everybody that is listening or will see this to take a few minutes to educate or re-educate yourself and learn about the signs of domestic abuse. It is not always physical. There's a lot of information and there are a lot of resources online that I'd encourage everybody to just take a few minutes to refresh. I also want to mention that the domestic violence hotline is 1-800-799-7233. Again, that's 1-800-799-7233. It is 24/7. It is available in Spanish and English, and it is also available through over 200 languages through an interpretation service. So just keep that in your minds. And the last thing I want to do is invite Alderman Lysick to join me and Alderman Tenorio to join me, because we get to roast him. As you may know, Alderman Tenorio is moving to Connecticut, so as a token, we want to load him up with a bunch more stuff to move. We do have a proclamation and a resolution of commendation that I'd like to quickly read. Whereas Alderperson Angelito Tenorio is resigning as Alderperson of the 1st District as of October 31st, 2022, after 2.5 years of aldermanic service to the City of West Dallas. Whereas Angelito has served as a member of the city's Administration and Finance Committee, Committee of the Whole, Safety and Development, and West Dallas Library Board. Whereas Angelito has earned his undergrad degree in political science from UW-Madison, as well as enlisting in the Wisconsin Army National Guard at that time. During his professional career, he worked in political finance for a number of years before joining the environmental group Wisconsin Conservation Voters, where his focus included fighting for environmental justice by organizing supporters and advocating for conservation principles. Whereas as first district alderperson, Angelito was a champion for leading the effort to combat climate change, support affordable housing initiatives, advocate for racial justice and LGBTQ+ rights. And whereas believing in equality and opportunities for all people, Angelito spearheaded movements for diversity and inclusion, including an ordinance to ban conversion therapy involving children and a resolution in opposition to conversion therapy. And whereas throughout his time on the city's council, Angelito has been instrumental in implementing the city's strategic plan through proactive decisions. This includes prioritizing residents' health and safety during COVID-19 with ordinance to require face coverings in public, a resolution condemning violence against the Asian American and Pacific Islander communities and minorities of all factions of society, and an ordinance to amend noise regulation variance process for the employers in his community. Whereas Angelito has contributed his expertise and skills to the creation of the new 2022 to 2026 strategic plan for the city of West Allis. Whereas as a longtime resident of the city of West Allis, Angelito was an active participant and advocate for the West Allis community. And whereas he has served with honesty, integrity, mindfulness, and a deep responsibility to the well-being and needs of West Allis residents, he has dedicated his time, experience, and compassion to the city of West Allis for its betterment through his skills and commitment, which has made it a more developed, advanced, and enriched place to live, work, and visit. Therefore, may it be known that I, Dan Devine, Mayor of the City of West Allis, State of Wisconsin, do hereby designate October 18th, 2022 as a day of recognition for Angelito Tenorio, and further proclaimed that all citizens in West Allis join me in recognizing Angelito's accomplishments, dedication, and contributions to the city, and join me in extending our best wishes for his next life adventure.
And I'd just like to add that the Common Council has a recommendation of resolution of commendation for Angelito that follows the same lines as the mayor's proclamation. We'll be acting on that shortly.
Thanks. And then, of course, we have to give him the street sign, Tenorio Avenue. It'll look great in New Haven.
Thank you.
Yep. Everyone will wonder where it is. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to say a few words. I can hold this for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, see, I got paper and he's got it on his phone.
Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, I want to thank you all so much for the love and support and encouragement over my tenure on the Common Council here in West Allis. I'm so proud of the work that we've done together in this city. Like working with neighbors, family, friends, colleagues, the mayor, constituents, our incredible city staff, our department heads as well, working with partners and stakeholders in West Allis has been the honor of my lifetime. I'm really proud of the work that we've been doing and the direction that our city is going in. I'm a proud product of West Allis. West Allis is the city that raised me and that allowed my parents to come to the United States and to buy their first home here in West Allis. My mom's actually with me here tonight, and so is my younger brother, Charles. And I truly would not be where I am today without this incredible community, this incredible city that we have in West Allis. I also want to say that October 18th, this month is Filipino American History Month. And today, October 18th, actually marks the first recorded arrival of Filipinos in the United States back in 1587. And I share that because I stand on the shoulders of the people who came before me. I truly wouldn't be here without my ancestors and the activists and the leaders who came before us. I wouldn't be here without the people who built West Allis. We have a rich working class history. And I wouldn't be here without all of you supporting me along the way. It's been an incredible journey being able to serve and give back to the community that gave so much to me and my family. So I want to say thank you all so much again for the love and support, the encouragement, the wisdom, the experiences, the work that we've done together, because here in West Allis, like, our strength is in our diversity. Our strength is in our residents. Our strength is with the people who make up West Allis. And I'm so excited about the direction that our city is going in. Over the past few decades, West Allis has changed so much for the better from my time growing up here to where we are today, especially in my district on the east end of West Allis. So I'm eternally grateful to the people of the 1st District for placing your trust in me, for believing in me and the work that I'm doing, and in our shared vision to serve our community. So thank you all so much for the opportunity to serve. And I promise you, I'll be back. Wisconsin's home to me. West Allis is home to me. So I'll be back. But I'm so excited about my new adventures, to move out to New Haven, Connecticut, to be with my amazing partner, Ariana, for the time being. Thank you so much, everyone, for the love and support. Thank you. This is amazing.
All right, that does conclude the mayor's report. Do we have any alderpersons' reports this evening?
Mayor Devine?
Alderperson Keene.
I just wanted to announce that the Conrad Gardens Neighborhood Association is having a Halloween decorating contest, a house Halloween decorating contest, and you can visit their Facebook page. First place could win up to $50 gift card. It's just a way to support the community. We have some amazing houses that are decorated, one sitting next to me, and even if you just take a stroll and kind of check out the neighborhoods and take a walk, it might be a great way to meet neighbors. So make sure to check them out, and if you're in the Conrad Gardens neighborhood and you want to enter in your house for a chance to win, just visit the Facebook page and it'll tell you all about how to submit your address.
Thank you. Any other reports from the alderpersons?
Mayor Devine?
Alderman Weigel?
I'd like to thank County Supervisors Tony Staskunas and Peter Bergelis. They hosted a little open house kind of neighborhood meeting last week at the West Allis Public Library. It was Alderperson Dan Rowe was there as well as I, and some citizens were there, and they had an interesting discussion. It was the county board is facing a lot of the same funding challenges, constraints that are put on them as well as municipalities, the city of West Allis, both by the state, where things are tough all over, and with a little help from Madison, it could be a lot better for the cities and counties and villages and municipalities. But again, I'd like to thank the supervisors for spending the time in West Allis and sharing their ideas with the citizens.
Thank you, Alderman Weigel. Any other alderpersons' reports?
Mayor Devine?
Alderperson Reinke.
Basically, I wanted to inform our council of that I attended a meeting at Irvine School regarding of the construction of soccer fields there. There will be several soccer fields that were in the process of being built by the rec department. The rec department plans on using these soccer fields during the week and the weekends. There were several concerns and problems that were noted by the neighbors, the near neighbors, and the rec department has promised to resolve or look into the problems that were introduced that evening. Also, I wanted to indicate that Alderperson Roach and I attended the swearing in of the police, the new police officers that now will be part of our police department. They plan on either, some of them will be going to the police academy and some will be receiving training at the police department itself. And I guess I have to say that we can really be proud of our police officers who do a lot for the city of West Allis and its residents. And I really was proud attending this ceremony that was so meaningful to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderperson Reinke. Any other alderpersons' reports this evening? Okay.
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Lysick.
I move for approval of the Common Council minutes of October 4th, 2022.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any changes? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Standing committee reports, we have none, so we'll go right to item K.
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Lysick.
unless any member of the council would like an item acted on separately, I would move for approval of the consent agenda as presented.
Any discussion?
Mayor Devine,
Alderperson Reinke.
I'd like to pull item number 9 on the agenda, if possible.
Okay.
I think you should pull 8 as well, if we're gonna pull 9.
8 and 9?
Yeah, it's the
If
ordinance.
one's being pulled, I think the other should be.
Right, it's the ordinance and a resolution.
Any other items to be pulled for separate action?
If not, then I would move for approval of the consent agenda as presented with the exception of 8 and 9. We'll act on those separately.
Okay. If there's no other discussion, I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Alderperson Lysick.
Aye.
Reinke.
Aye.
Rote.
Aye.
Stefanski.
Aye.
Tenorio.
Aye.
Vitale.
Aye.
Weigel.
Aye.
Grisham.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Keen.
Aye.
10 in favor, 0 opposed.
Motion carries.
Mayor Devine, I would move for adoption of resolution number 9.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Alderperson Lysick.
Aye.
Reinke.
Aye.
Rote.
Aye.
Stefanski.
Aye.
Tenorio.
Aye.
Vitale. Weigel.
Aye.
Grisham.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Keen.
Aye.
10 in favor, 0 opposed.
Motion carries.
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Lysick.
I would then move for a passage of ordinance item number 8 to reorganize the standing committees.
Any discussion? Alderperson Reinke.
Basically, I have read about the 4 committees that we plan on creating. Currently, we have 5 committees, but we will go down to 4 committees: Public Safety, Public Works, Economic Development, and Administration. We've eliminated the Advisory Committee, and I can understand that the advisory duties have been delegated in the form of all of these committees. I understand that. However, I did note that the committees for, excuse me, that have responsibilities for granting tavern bartender license, I wanted to know what committee will be doing that, because I couldn't find anything in the committee duties that would encompass that. So could somebody please tell me who will assume that?
That was in the administration, and I'm not fresh on the names yet, but Alderman
Mayor
Lysick.
Devine, I believe that was in Safety Committee, and I believe that the way it was written was the Economic Committee would handle licenses for new businesses, and any other licenses that the clerk's office issues would be handled by, I thought it was a safety committee. Is that correct?
Okay. Thank you.
It is noted in the ordinance and in the resolution, and it was discussed at the committee of the whole, and it was a part of the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion on item 8?
I realize the reason, basically, Mayor Devine, was that it would make for more efficiency. However, I look forward to see how these committees will, you might say, delegate and take care of business.
Thank you. Thanks for your comments. Any other discussion on item 8?
Mr. Mayor.
Alderman Vitale.
Yeah, the questions, I know we had this discussions already in reference making some changes, but the questions that is with the advisory committee, you know, I understand, you know, sometimes it goes a long way with, I mean, some of the appointments and some other issue that we've been really coming forward in front of the, the advisory committee. So the purpose is, who's going to handle really the appointments or any other issue? I mean, at this time, even with the perhaps a new appointment for the first aldermanic district, who's going really to handle that? It's going to be just, I mean, a committee that have to be created? I mean, who's going to manage that? I know it's discussions, you know, but I agree with Alderperson Reinke, you know, I mean, this committee has been really in effect for many years, as far as I know. So, I mean, to me, what really the difference would be in regard to make this change, you know, I mean,
So-
it's not a committee that really meet for hours or just has a lot of workload, you know?
So
But I think
Alderman Vitale, the appointments that your first question, the appointments would be in front of the committee that relates to that topic. So it's somebody for the Board of Health that would go to the committee that deals with public health issues.
Yeah.
If it's something with business, it would go to the committee like the CDA or the Plan Commission. It would go in front of the committee that deals with economic development issues. And then as far as the filling the vacancy, that will go before the council, and a council member can request that that process goes to the committee of the whole versus just one committee of common council members, and that, I believe, has happened, and that's why the process set forth. I think we passed last meeting, if not tonight, I can't remember, but that's why that structure was set up, because there was a request for that to go in front of the committee of the
Mr. Mayor,
whole.
I do understand that 100%, the process, but the fact is, why we should have someone is not elected to be chosen to determine who's going to be appointed.
It is the common council that's
I
making
mean,
it.
on the end, but you talk about the development appoint, you know, people that are in various appointing departments. That's what I cannot really, you said the development department, who is it? Who they are those?
Whatever the new committee is that deals with economic development issues comprised of 5 aldermen would make that decision.
So be the 5 aldermen, won't be no appointing.
Well, it would be a committee appointment, but it just would be the proper, appropriate
Five body
committee.
elected, is that correct?
Yes.
But it's not a appoint citizen, non-elected, that is
No.
going to be. Okay, see,
No.
that's what perhaps was not clarified
Okay.
at the last meeting we had.
Yeah,
I
it'll
thought
still
was
be,
just-
it'll still be in front of a committee of 5 alderpersons,
Okay.
but it'll just have a different
So
name.
now we got that clear.
We're
Thank
cool.
you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Any other alderpersons' reports? No. I'm losing my head here, sorry. Jeez, I went back about a half hour, sorry. Item 8, I believe, sorry, jeez. Okay, Any other discussion on item 8? Maybe I'm just used to Alderman Vitale giving Alderman's reports. I don't know what. Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll for item 8.
Alderperson Lysick.
Aye.
Ranky.
Aye.
Rote.
Aye.
Stefanski.
Aye.
Tenorio.
Aye.
Vitale.
Aye.
Weigel.
Aye.
Grisham.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Keen.
Aye.
10 in favor, 0 opposed.
Motion carries.
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Lysick.
I move that we stand in recess until conclusion of the committee meetings.
Second.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. We're giving it to Alderman Tenorio because it's his last meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We are in recess.
Yesterday, the committee discussed the following, so I'll read them out, and if any committee member would like, you could make a motion to approve all the items with one motion.
Sure.
Number 33, the discussion was to deny based upon habitual law offender. Number 34, deny for non-appearance in the record. 35 was to deny for non-appearance in a record. 36 was to hold that item for a second appearance. 37 was to approve. And 39 was to approve. So if anyone would like to make a motion.
I make a
I'm not making a
motion
motion?
to approve
But-
the, what Cale read off in the
Yes.
order that he did.
We all
Okay.
killed it.
Okay.
And
I
I
think we'll-
believe Rosalie gave a second.
Okay, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? The aye have it.
Mr. Chair, the committee voted 3-2, or discussed 3-2, approving item number 38. So any committee member can make a motion on that one as well.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
No.
3 yeah and 3 noes.
3 and 2.
3 and 2. So anything else in front of us?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor of the motion to
Aye.
adjourn?
Aye.
Opposed? The aye. So, man, we're so effective by doing this, eh?
That was a record for
Too bad
licensing else.
rearrange these committees.
Right it back, I think it worked out well.
Efficiency right now.
More efficient we're getting, you know?
So are we allowed to do the first two at least?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we'll call Public Works to order. All 5 members are here, present. Start with item 26, Resolution 2022-0738, resolution constituting a relocation order pursuant to sections 62.22 and 32.05, parentheses 1 of the Wisconsin statutes for the laying out, relocation, and improvement of West Lincoln Avenue from South 93rd Street to South 96th Street.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. Then we go down to item 27, Resolution 2022-0739, resolution authorizing the city engineer to amend an existing contract with Single Source Incorporated for real estate consulting services related to the Wistot reconstruction project on Lincoln Avenue for an amount not to exceed $65,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
I got a
Mr. Chair.
question.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair, I have a question for you. When the amount of $65,000, being it's a state project, how is that delegated usually? Is there a portion that obviously comes to us as city versus
With the
state highway?
Yeah, with the relocation, the 65,000 is paying the consultant.
Correct.
And that is the city's cost to pay the consultant.
Okay,
for those
typically
relocations.
that would be our responsibility so that we obviously know what needs to be done with that stretch.
Yeah, we know what needs to be bought right now, but that consultant goes and negotiates with the different property owners.
Okay, thank
on
you.
that.
Thank you. That's
Alderman
it.
Stefanski.
Where is this construction going on again on Lincoln?
Below.
From 93rd to 96th.
Oh, this is the one, okay. It's the one above.
The next segment, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
2025.
And again, these are just small little slivers of land.
Small, yeah, most of them are called TLE, it's temporary limited easement. So
Okay.
they have to go, give them a small portion of money to use their land to, to work, to put a sidewalk in, and then they give it back to them. So no one would be relocated or anything like that.
Okay, thank you.
So,
Go ahead.
so the reason we have to pay the 65,000 for the consultant is for what reason?
They have to go to each one of these properties and negotiate with the people.
So business owners, you're saying, right? Okay.
Well, property owners, right?
Okay.
So I guess some homeowners, some business owners, yes.
Gotcha.
Okay, any further discussion?
Yeah, I have a question for Robert. Sure. Rob, so how many really people on Beloit Road, they have sump pumps, you know?
What
Sump
does this have
pumps.
to do with,
What does this have to do with this?
No, I'm talking about the next one. Beloit
No,
Road.
we're still talking about
Oh,
93rd
okay.
through
Oh,
96.
sorry about that, yeah.
it's okay.
You threw me there.
All right, it's been moved and seconded.
I know.
This is item 27, moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries, and we are going to
temporary hold,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, a self-imposed recess,
Session.
because other people, right, for the closed session, people want to come from downstairs.
Mr. Chair, I would ask that the committee go into closed session for item 28. I can go check to see where the other committees are at, if you'd like.
Okay.
Okay.
Tell them we've been waiting a long time.
I'll make sure to make them feel really.
Yeah, you let them know.
You can go ahead with the motion and the reading.
The reading it? Okay.
Okay, item 28, deliberating the repair or replacement of the Public Works facility currently located at 6300 West McGill Avenue. And for agenda item number 28, the Public Works Committee may convene in closed session pursuant to the provisions of Wisconsin statute, section 19.85, parenthesis 1, parenthesis E, for the purposes of deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties or the investing of public funds. The Public Works Committee may reconvene in open session after completion of the closed session to consider the balance of the agenda. Is there a motion to go into closed
Motion to
session?
go into closed session.
Okay,
Second.
it's been moved and
Yep.
seconded. Alderman Reinke?
Good evening. We will call the Common Council back to order, and I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Alderperson Lysick.
Here.
Ranky.
Here.
Rote.
Here.
Stefanski.
Here.
Tenorio.
Here.
Vitale.
Here,
Weigel.
Here.
Grisham. Haas.
Here.
Keen. Here. 10 present.
We have a quorum, and we will begin with the Administration and Finance Committee, and I will ask the clerk to report that out.
Administration and Finance Committee recommended adoption of item 23 and placing on file item 24.
Mayor Devine, I move for approval of the committee report.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Alderperson Lysick.
Aye.
Ranky.
Aye.
Rote.
Aye.
Stefanski.
Aye.
Tenorio.
Aye.
Vitale.
aye,
Weigel.
Aye.
Grisham.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Keen.
Aye.
10 in favor, 0 opposed.
Motion carries. And the next, I will ask the clerk to read out Public Works.
The Public Works Committee recommended adoption of items 26 and 27.
I move in accordance with the committee report, Mayor Devine.
Thank you, Alderman Rote. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Alderperson Lysick.
Aye.
Ranky.
Aye.
Rote.
Aye.
Stefanski.
Aye.
Tenorio.
Aye.
Vitale.
aye,
Weigel.
Aye.
Grisham.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Keen.
Aye.
10 in favor, 0 opposed.
Motion carries. Now we will go to the Safety and Development Committee.
The Safety and Development Committee recommended passage of items 28 and, or 29 and 31, passage of item 30 as amended and adoption of item 32.
Mayor Devine, I move for approval of the committee report.
Thank you, Alderman Lysick. Any discussion on the Safety and Development Committee? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Alderperson Lysick.
Aye.
Ranky.
Aye.
Rote.
Aye.
Stefanski.
Aye.
Tenorio.
Aye.
Vitale.
aye,
Weigel.
Aye.
Grisham.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Keen.
Aye.
10 in favor, 0 opposed.
Motion carries. And then we will do the License and Health Committee.
We'll take item 38 separate.
Okay.
There's a split vote. The License and Health Committee recommended denial of items 33, 34, and 35. The first one was based on just the police record. 34 and 35 were based on non-appearance and the police record. Items 36 was held. Items 37 and 39 were recommended for granting.
Mr. Mayor, I move for approval from the committee reports.
Thank you, Alderman Vitale. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. We do not have an advisory committee, so I want to give,
38.
One more item.
sorry, we still don't have an advisory committee, but we'll do item 38.
The License and Health Committee recommended granting item 38.
Should move for approval, Mr. Mayor, from the committee reports.
Thanks, Alderman Vitale. Any discussion on item 38?
Mayor Devine,
Yes.
I have a question, and my question, I see it's a new Class A beer license, but do they not already sell alcohol at that location? Can someone explain that?
No, no.
Mayor Devine?
Okay.
Alderperson Grisham.
If I may speak to this, this is Poor Richards on Oklahoma that came forward last year and requested a license. He was denied. However, we did tell him, he had called and reached out and he wanted to attempt to get the license again this year. I deferred to Alderwoman Ranky, as it's your district, and asked her thoughts first, as I was a proponent to support it, and that's where the 3-2 vote went. I believe Alderman Rote and Alderman Stefanski voted no.
Any other questions?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Vitale.
yeah, based on the, the applicant, I mean, he has really clean records. I mean, I don't see any doubt to where we should have denied the license, the beer license for the business on that corner there on Oklahoma. So that's why I vote for.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
And Mayor Devine,
Alderman Haas.
one other thing, probably pointing out the obvious, but just to clarify, it's beer only, not hard alcohol. Thank you.
Okay, if there is no other discussion, I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Alderperson Lysick.
Aye.
Ranky.
Aye.
Rote.
No.
Stefanski.
No.
Tenorio.
Aye.
Vitale.
Aye.
Weigel.
Aye.
Grisham.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Keen.
Aye.
8 in favor, 2 opposed.
Motion carries. Thank you. We do not have an advisory committee report still, so I will.
Mayor Devine.
Alderman
Thank
Lysick.
you. Thank you, Mayor Devine, you're the best.
I move that we adjourn until our next regularly scheduled meeting, Tuesday, November 1st at 7 PM.
Second.
We're giving that one to Angelito. All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thanks again, Angelito.